Welcome back. So last video we spent some time setting up our environment. We downloaded Halo Custom Edition, the editing kit tools, several other tools, and some Max scripts to use with 3ds Max. So that list is actually right here in case you didn't see it last time. So Halo CE, the HEC, 3ds Max, HEC Plus, Bluestreak, the BSP model converter, bitmap extractors, things to help us take the content from the Halo CE game and put it into 3D and 2D tools. That way we can put them into Unity eventually. So we went through last time in the Halo Editing Kit Plus and we actually extracted several of these files. So all the ripped content is now over here on this side. So we have characters, vehicles, weapons, sky, levels. And so to start us off here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to get the model, the mesh data for the Bloodgulch level. So going through here, the Bloodgulch, we're looking for the scenario structure BSP. So we're going to open up our BSP tag converter, which I already have open right here. And we're going to open a BSP. We're going to go to levels, test, Bloodgulch. There it is. Double click that. It'll open up. Nice. So we're going to use PNGs for our bitmaps. Extract bitmaps. Blah, blah, blah. Use quotation mark. This is all good. I'm going to include lens flares, and I'm also going to separate by material. And I also want to include the fog planes. Now you don't have to do all this, but I think it'll be helpful for me to understand exactly where things are supposed to go. So that way when I move over into Unity, it's easier just to tell where things go, like the lens flare, so the sun, I believe. And then separating by material will be really useful because whenever I import this into a 3D modeling software or even into Unity, it's going to be really nice to already have the mesh separated by which materials should be applied. All right, so I'm done with that. Click Convert Model. Boom, boom, boom. You see some stuff pop up over here. Conversion complete. That's a good sign. So let's take a look at what it did over here. So it created this object file and this material file. So if you're familiar with the Wavefront OBJ format, this has all the mesh data. This has the material information for the meshes. And it also should have, yep, there it is. If you go to the bitmaps, you'll see it actually extracted these bitmaps. So this is really great. Man, look at the ground there. Awesome. So now what we will do is we will actually, well, you know, it's funny, in OBJ file you can pull directly into Unity. So why don't we do that? Why don't we open up Unity here? We are now ready to start our project. So we're going to create a new project. We are going to use the URP. So part of the goal for this project for me is to learn quite a bit about the universal render pipeline and start using the node editor. So what is going on here? Okay, we are going to call this project ring of light. In other words, Halo, right? All right, so we're going to throw this over into we'll call this ROL, Ring of Light. This looks good to me. We're going to create a new project and Unity's going to take its sweet time loading up all these assets and everything it has to do. So I'll be right back as soon as it's done. All right, and we're back. So Unity finally loaded in everything. As you can see, I have the URP set up, so it's just giving me this sample scene. The first thing I'm going to do is create a new folder. I'm going to call this _HC. This is where I'm going to start putting all of the content. So I'm going to create another folder, call it levels. So we're just going to kind of follow the same name. Whoops, that's not how you spell levels. There we go. And of course, I want to create a folder Bloodgulch. So inside that, what we're actually going to try and do is in our rips here, we are going to just drag the object file directly into Unity. Let's just see what happens here. So boom, it's in here. We will create Yep, we'll create a new scene. We're just going to call this level test. Open this up. Okay, let's drag this into here. All right, so the first thing you're going to notice is that, well, for one, it's like really small, but it's also, it seems like the rotation is quite wrong here. And so if we look, it's rotated on the x-axis by, looks like negative 90 degrees. And let's go ahead and scale this thing up quite a bit because it just looks incredibly small. Oh great, where'd it go? We've lost it. Was 100 too big? We'll do 10. Interesting. I can't even see it anymore. Somehow I have broken it. Is it here and I'm just blind? Nope. Oh gosh, there it is. Whew. That was a bit of a doozy. Oh, just for comparison, so we'll see just, is this really small or am I just seeing things? We'll just drop a little cube in here because this should be 1 by 1 meter cube. Wow, it's like way underneath the level here, which is interesting because the level's actually at 0, 0. But oddly, it doesn't seem like it is, right? Let's reset this cube here. Oh wow, okay, so it's actually quite large. So if I move it over here, this is much closer to 0, 0. We actually need to make this smaller. So that's probably what's happening is the camera was very confused in this 0, 0 point. Whew. So as you can see, this is kind of tedious, right? It's difficult to get this thing exactly where I want it to be. This is something that I think we can mitigate if we first import this into a 3D application. But it's okay for right now. This will do. This will be all right, just for us to take a look at everything. So now let's take a look at this. We have all of these materials that were created. So if you remember, when I exported this thing, I had it separate each thing by its material. So what we will do is, at least they're named, right? That's pretty nice. We'll go back over to Bloodgulch bitmaps, and we will actually just yank all these bitmaps and put them in here and see kind of what happens. Boom. All right, they're there. We'll just start creating our own new materials. So we'll create, and we'll just call this cliff. And we'll drag it onto the cliff, open this up. We will add it as a base map. Wow, there you have it. And we're done. This is Bloodgulch. Boom. Mic drop. Just kidding. So what will be interesting to me is part of this. Which one is it? The ground. Do you see Bloodgulch ground? There it is. This will be pretty interesting. So we'll create another material here. And I know this isn't going to work properly, but that's okay. That's why we're here. That's what we're learning. So we'll apply this to the ground. And if you look, put the base map down. Oh, yes, it's missing all the details, but that's okay. We've got the cliff, we've got the ground, or at least the ground's kind of base texture there. We don't want either of these to be smooth. All right, we are making some good progress here. So what I'm going to do is actually go through now and just apply all the other textures that we have. So I know that some of them may not be in here, like are these rocks here? Because I don't see any kind of rock texture, and maybe that's in the scenery object, or maybe those are also, no, it says Beaver Creek Boulder. Oh, this is really nice, right? So it tells me which one it is. So if I go back to my bitmaps over here, Beaver Creek Boulder. How about that? And just in case I do Beaver Creek later, I'm going to go ahead and add in Beaver Creek right here. And we'll just drop it in the bitmaps here as well. Boom.
Hey, Ella. What are you doing?
And boom, there we go. We'll create a new material, call it just boulder. Boulder's good. And we'll apply that to the Beaver Creek boulders and go back over to Beaver Creek. And there we go, we have some rocks. Nice. So yeah, I'm going to continue this whole thing until I get everything texture mapped, and I will see you in a few minutes. Okay, real quick, I want to show you all something that I decided to do. So I actually decided to just drag all of the levels into the editor here. And the reason I did that is because it's so much easier to just sort by texture here. And now all the textures that I've exported, now they'll just show up here in the Unity editor, which makes it a lot easier to start building out these materials. So just a little quick tip there on how to kind of make this process a little bit easier. And just, I know that this base has this kind of metal color. Maybe it's this lighter one, I'm not really sure. And I know that there's these metal plates on top. And if I look, there should be like a metal, what is this one called on? Yeah, so metal panels generic, exterior clean. So now I should be able to just find metal, I believe it's a metal plate. We'll see. So anyways, just wanted to show you all that quick tip. Welcome back here. So I've textured pretty much everything as far as the bases go and all the environments, and I came to this teleporter shield, and unfortunately I did not find a bitmap for this, so I think this is actually a scenery item. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop back over to these folder structure here, go back to rips, scenery, yeah, so it's teleporter base, which I believe is the little thing that goes in the middle. Yeah, it must be like a scenery object that you place. But if you remember, if you've ever played this map before, there's like a little teleporter item here and one over there as well. But this is asking for a teleporter shield. So what we're going to do is we're just going to create a new folder here, call it scenery. Whoops, and I can't spell. And we actually need to export those bitmaps, because we can't use we need a GBX model and these bitmaps. We already have this model here in the scene, so I'm just going to add in those bitmaps for the shield here. So the dust, I don't know what the hell the dust is for, but whatever, open, and we're done. Extract, no errors, perfect. Or is it perfect? Okay. Where did it put these things? Scenery. We will just quickly search here. Teleporter shield mask. I don't know where this is then. Did I somehow miss this before? And it was here the whole time. Yep, I must have. Apologize for that. So here they are, right here. So we have HE scenery. We're just going to drop in this teleporter shield directly into here, and this will make it pretty easy. So it has, I mean, obviously there's a mesh and everything, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So we'll just create a new folder for the materials that we're going to create. We will, boom, done. We'll start creating our materials. And just like that, looks pretty good. And so this other thing, this green light, I believe that's just a marker, and it's to set up an actual point light here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hide this for now because we're not going to need that. But once we start adding in lighting into our scene, we'll add a little green light there. So we'll remember that it's there since it's disabled. Cool. So yeah, I just want to show you all that sometimes you'll come to points where you don't have the right stuff and you'll need to import some other assets. Like actually I see one right here. Yep, so some yellow lights. We should actually have the bitmaps for that. Anyways, I'm going to finish this up and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, well, I think we are done texturing for now. So I would say that the import, oh wait, oh, I see something down here. What is going on? Oh, there's a couple things down here. What is this? Moss, interesting. So we do need to create a different material for the moss. Yes, and let's take a look at our bitmaps here. Cap moss, very good. Yeah, that looks real good. Except obviously it's missing some things. So let's take a look at the alpha here. So it looks like it's only RGB, which is unfortunate. What we will do is we will just go from grayscale. That'll probably be good enough, I think. And then I'll go back to the material real quick. So we do want this to be transparent. Whatever. We'll fix this later, but at least I got the moss handled as well. Okay, so now we're done. We're done texturing the Bloodgulch level. Obviously, we're missing detail maps and such, so do not worry. We will tackle this in one of the next videos. Thanks for watching, everybody.